Welcome to the Patterson Library Connection. In this episode of our podcast, we'll share good news and library happenings, talk to fun and interesting guests, and connect with our Patterson community. I'm Lillie the Director of Marketing and Programs here at the library. In today's episode, I'm talking to our Library Director, Stephanie Harrison, and Board of Trustees President, Donald Ferraro. They're going to talk about our recent renovation and our exciting future plans for the library. Thanks for joining us. Now let's get started. Welcome to the Patterson Library. I'm so glad you're here with us today. We are video recording our podcast so that we can show you all the amazing changes that have happened here in the library during our renovation project. And my special guests today are Library Director Stephanie Harrison and Board President Don Ferraro. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So glad you guys are here today to tell us all about the exciting changes. I know everybody is anxious to hear what's coming up and what's been done. So we'll get to that in a minute. And in the meantime, I'm going to share some more good news. Hey everyone, we've got some electrifying news for all of you. We have 3 new Level 2 EV chargers ready to power up your car 24/7. These chargers are super user-friendly. You can scan the QR code for easy instructions and pay 25 cents per kilowatt hour with your credit card. I don't know much about EV chargers, but just for a quick comparison, Level 2 chargers are faster than Level 1 chargers that most people have at home. If you've been to throughway stops, you've seen those speedy Level 3 chargers, which are super quick, but our Level 2s are a great middle ground. Tesla drivers, we've got you covered too. We're getting an adapter for the Tesla vehicle, but you'll need to grab it from the circulation desk, so you'll be able to use it only during library hours. Even better, this is paid for by a generous donation that fully covered the cost of these charges, so no extra taxpayer dollars were needed. So swing by the library to keep your EV charged while you check out a book or two. We can't wait to see you. And that's our good news. And now I'd like to introduce our special guests, our Library Director, Stephanie Harrison, and our Board of Trustees President, Don Ferraro. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So glad you're here today for our first video recording. We've never done this before. Our podcasts are usually just a recording and there's no video. So this is exciting. So the reason we're doing that is to share with everybody all of the exciting changes that have just come about because of the renovation. So, Don, why don't we start with you?
Okay.
Tell us about the one thing that you're most excited about and that you've heard people are really raving about.
It's hard to say one thing because we've gotten comments about just about everything that we've done here. But I think the one thing that really stands out are the reading nooks, one of which we are sitting in right now. That was one of our major projects that we wanted to have reading nooks, a special place for people they could sit and be out of the flow of traffic, be able to read a book or to work on their laptops and be somewhat private. And already people are flocking to them. As soon as they saw them, they went right to them. So I think that would probably be the most prominent feature that we have heard people talk about.
Yeah, I agree. People have walked in and are just amazed at how really nice they are, and they're cozy, and they are a really nice, quiet spot for everyone. Stephanie, how about you? What are you excited about?
So the nooks are a key feature, like Don said. We also lowered a lot of our shelves, so people have commented on how big it looks, and we really only added square footage in the nooks, but it seems so much bigger because the shelves are shorter and it seems more expansive and open. So, but it still, I think, retains the cozy feel that the previous adult library had, so we're really pleased.
Yeah, the end result is really nice, and I know everybody's going to love it when they come in. Can you walk us through a before and after story? For example, the reading nooks, the computer and seating areas, and even the new placement of the bookshelves transformed what the space looks like. For anybody visiting the library, have you seen people using the library differently already?
As I mentioned, people coming right to the nooks. I haven't seen much difference in terms of people going through the stacks, but I've seen them sitting in the various new chairs that we have about. So I think people have seemed very comfortable here, and I think they enjoy what we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we added an extra study table, so people have been using that. People are reading newspapers in the Nooks. Our knitting group, Flying Needles, they were using the new space across from the circulation desk. It's nice. You can see people browsing in the shelves now, again with the shorter shelving. So it's just nice that you just have just a more open feel, but the Nooks do give some, cozy privacy. So you can, do some work or do some quiet reading.
For sure. I know Maggie Flynn, our Medicare specialist, has literally used the tables the other night and was right in the middle of everything, but yet set off quietly and privately for people to get that drop-in help they need. So it really has been used already quite a bit.
And I will say, not to interrupt you, but one other thing, because we have more carpet now, so it does feel a little quieter in here. And we did some work on the ceilings as well, so that helped with the sound absorption. So I do feel like, we're not a quiet library per se. We like to, talk with our patrons, but it feels quieter because the carpet and the ceiling tiles do absorb some of the sound.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's one of the reasons we're able to actually record here in the main library. And even though Adam will do a great job editing, I think the noise level is quieter for sure. So from a director's perspective, what challenges did the team overcome during the renovation, and how did community input shape the final design?
Well, community input for me was seeing people looking for spaces to study or chat with someone, and we didn't always have that available. And so adding those spaces were really important. So that was something that I was pleased we were able to do with the renovation. Challenges, any construction project has its challenges, but I feel like the patrons were really understanding and flexible, and the staff was great and flexible as well, because we, had to move into a much smaller space. And, they did it seamlessly, and patrons still were coming in. And I didn't realize how many people love to browse our shelves until they said they couldn't and they missed it. So we're happy to welcome them back to do that. So overall, again, we're really pleased with the final result, and I hope the public is as well.
So Don, as board president, looking back, what do you see is the biggest win from this renovation project? Not just in bricks and mortar and the size and the, everything else, but in strengthening our role in the community.
We constantly on the board look for ways to improve the services to the community. This project really started probably 5 years ago, and we developed a master plan to accomplish that goal of providing better services. A lot of the things that we've already talked about were included in that: better shelving, quiet reading areas. So we've just completed phase 1 and 2 of a 5-phase project. And we're looking to the future. We will be eventually adding a big reading room off of the adult library that will allow for a small conference area for people to go in and have tutoring in quiet inside of a room, or for people to go and read, or even to have even our board meetings we'll probably hold in there. So there's a lot more coming, and this is just the beginning. But I think we have a great master plan, and I think when we're finished with it, people will be amazed at what we've accomplished.
So Don, you touched on the future expansion with the reading room, and I know fiscal responsibility has been the cornerstone of the board's approach. Can you share how we've kept renovation costs in check? I know there were grants and other efforts by the library to cover the costs. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have over the years been very frugal with the budget, and we've been able to put a lot of money into our capital reserves. Once we did that, we started investing those in CDs and got a decent return, and that started to to grow the capital reserve even more. We also have been very active in applying for grants from New York State for construction grants, which we've received on this phase 1 and 2. We received sufficient funding, I think. We also have gotten some donations from, for instance, Matt Slater's office to help us along with this project. We will continue to, watch our budget and try to add to the capital reserve for the future projects. But we're in good financial shape, and I think we will be able to move forward with these, with the new additions, and not have any additional cost to the taxpayers, which is a real plus for everybody.
Yeah, that certainly is. So, Stephanie, we've heard concerns about budgets in tough economic times, and as we know, a lot of people are struggling. So how is the library prioritizing spending to maximize every dollar? I know we've done some energy efficient changes here at the library to keep in that vein of saving money. What other designs have we done that really help with the budget?
So I would say with the renovation, the architects, one of the cornerstones of their plan was to make this space as sustainable as possible. So the windows are energy efficient. We have a new HVAC system in this part of the library, again, very energy efficient. The lighting is all LED. It's actually on occupancy sensors. So if people aren't in here, the lights will go off. So again, saving energy. Everything that they did design-wise was to be as sustainable as possible. And just, in general, I tend to be, as fiscally conservative as possible to, provide the taxpayers with, as much, bang for their buck, so to speak, to give them, a lot of value for their tax dollars. So, and I think the staff does a good job of maximizing every dollar that the taxpayer entrusts in us. So, I think we're a good value for the town, and I encourage everyone in the town of Patterson to come in and see what we're doing. I think they would be really proud of what they see and what the staff is doing to provide great materials and services for our taxpayers and our patrons.
Sure. I know it is reassuring to know that the focus is on smart, sustainable growth. That's such a big thing here. And I know we do our best every day to really look at sustainability as even in the little ways we can throughout the day. So ultimately, the libraries are about people. And let's talk a little bit about that. Beyond books and Wi-Fi, what role does the library play in sparking positive change for our residents? Go to you, Stephanie.
Well, I mean, we try to, offer, a little something for everyone, whether it's materials for people to check out, programs for adults and seniors to learn something or to socialize, programs for, babies through teens to, help educate them and, again, socialize them and have an outlet for parents and give teens community service volunteer hours. A third space for people to come to when, outside of their home and work, where they can, gather and study or read or meet people. We, try to do all of that in this building. And then we try to reach out to and partner with our other community organizations to just help make Patterson better and fun place to be, and just again to add value to everyday activities. So that's our goal here, and I think we do a good job. I know you do a great job with your adult programming, and all the staff really their focus is on serving the patrons. That's our number one focus, and so I think we do a good job with that, and we're always looking for new ideas. If people have new ideas of how we can, reach out and help people, we're more than willing to listen. But that's what we try to do.
Yeah, I can say from our programming side of things, I know we are so community minded, and we do have a spooktacular family event coming up, and that's going to take place out in the park. So, Don, I know we've just added square footage onto the building here, but years ago you were instrumental in getting the park done outside, and we really utilize that space so much, and especially during this renovation. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, I'm glad to. I can remember when it was just a field of weeds out there, and through the years, through our planning and implementation, and getting grants, we were able to add a beautiful park out there. It's probably one of the biggest additions to this library that I can think that we've done over the years. It's provided a lot of square footage for 3 seasons out of the year, and we do utilize it a lot for concerts and programs and just people sitting out there and enjoying a beautiful fall or summer day and using their Wi-Fi. It's just been a great addition to the library with the gardens and the gazebo and the tool shed where people borrow sheds. It's just been a real plus to have developed that park, which is fairly unique, I think, in the library world around here. But we see people just come and eat their lunches and just enjoy this beautiful day and the views out there. So that's one of my pet projects, and I'm really very happy that we were able to accomplish that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about the library, too. I love seeing people doing yoga in the park and the kids coming and dancing out there and doing all their programs in the gardens. And we do really utilize the space. It is one of our, I do think, most unique features. It does make us stand out in that way, and it is wonderful. Again, it allows us to be so community focused in that we've done so many programs out there, from partnering with the Rotary for Touch a Truck. I know the Petersons give us the pumpkins for our pumpkin patch every year. And this year we're doing a spooktacular event out there where we'll be giving away pumpkins and people can bring them and have them decorated for the contest. But we've done so much in other ways. We've given out food during COVID. On the patio. We were able to do programming with a lot of space. So I think we have really maximized the space as much as we can out there and continue to do so.
Well, I know with your creativity, you'll come up with new ways to do it. But I just wonderful to see the park come alive for all of these different programs. It's just a really special place.
Yeah, it was really helpful during this renovation project. We did art workshops outside. All of the kids' programs were outside. We had everything going on out there, and it really... we didn't have to shut down, which was really wonderful, because we didn't have to stop doing programming. We did a lot of off-site stuff too, but we really had a lot going on here, even through the renovation. So that was really helpful.
Yeah, during the renovation, we were only closed for 4 days in total, and that was just to move stuff out of the adult library and then move it back in. So
And that took a lot of effort on a lot of planning on your part, and a lot of effort from the staff here to really make that happen. And I'm glad we did. We actually got a lot of new patrons by being closed. It was funny. They did come to our programs. The art workshop brought in a lot of new people. I did an off-site program at Pauling Coffee Roasters and at Blue Olive, and we did a Magazzino museum tour, and we saw a lot of new faces. So it's interesting to see how many people now we've gotten as regular patrons because of the renovation. So that's been, I guess, a positive
Very
part
positive.
of that, right? So some people wonder, in the digital age, do we really need a bigger library when everything is online? Stephanie, how do you respond to that?
So what I would say to that is, for all of those users that are just doing things online, there are still the people who want books, print books. There are still people who want to come to programs. There are still people who need places to study or, meet a friend. So just because some new ways of using, materials has come about doesn't mean the old ways have gone away. And, we're seeing those people come in, and we want to meet everyone's needs. So we want to meet the people's needs who needs the notary or needs to make a photocopy or needs to fax or again needs the space to study or needs to go to a program to get some socialization or they want to learn something new. We want to meet all of those people's needs. They're all valuable. They're all important. And so that's what we strive to do. I feel like we are more busy now, not less, because there's more things for us to do and more needs for us to meet. And so that's what, we're trying to do to the best of our ability.
Yeah, I agree. From the programming side, you can see with the kids and adults how many more things we are offering to really meet people's needs. And one of the things we're talking about off camera was the resources that we're bringing in on a rotating basis, trying to save people the trip to go into Carmel or further away to get help with veteran services or Medicare help, tech help with Adam. We're going to be bringing in college help and a few others for seniors and other groups. But all of that makes us so community focused and really trying to make life easier and more enriching for people. And we do that as in any way we can. So I agree. I think, despite the digital age, we hear that a lot. I listen to audiobooks all the time and I have e-readers, but it all comes from here anyway. And I still love coming in here and we see people taking out books, bags and bags of books. So it is still, I agree. I think we're still very relevant. So Don, when a taxpayer asks, couldn't we just maintain the status quo? What's the case for doing this renovation now and in the near future?
We looked at the library and we talked to people about what they'd like to see. If you don't change, if you don't look to improve, I think you become stagnant. And I think there were lots of things that were pointed out. I think we've mentioned them earlier about the lower shelving, the improvements to the building that make it more inviting for people to come in and use. The taxpayers, I think, get a real bonus coming in here and seeing what we've done. If you have to always look to the future and try and be ahead of the curve, so to speak, to keep the library vibrant and useful to the public. And I think that's what we've done. Yeah.
I will say, as stewards of the building and the land, we've just talked about how we've done this beautiful park and the gazebo and the patios and walkways and all of that. But you're really, as stewards of the building, keeping the town, a community building for the town really in great shape, and by keeping it updated and updating the colors, the shelving, the lighting, and all of that. That was phase one. None of it goes to waste. These shelves will be when you expand and go into the next phase as well. So everything is very planned. It is deliberate, and it is all cost effective in the long run. As we know, talk a little bit about construction costs and doing this now, how that has helped.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, we applied for grants, and we had been very fiscally conservative and were able to build up our capital reserves. The total cost of this particular phase 1 and 2 is about $650,000. And of that amount, we received, I think it was $295,000 in grants. Which is almost a full, 50% match. Mm-hmm. It's a little short of that. And that's how we look forward to it. We've received an additional grant for the reading room. We haven't received that money yet or final approval from the state, but we know we have put in for that, and they've acknowledged that the first step that they're going to go ahead and give us that funding so that we can do a match and be able to move forward with phase 3. Phase 4 and 5 are in the future right now, and we're concentrating on phase 3. We hope to be able to go out to bid on phase 3 next fall in 26, and hopefully start construction in sometime in maybe the summer or early fall of 27. So that's our next focus. That's where we're moving ahead for that.
That's exciting. I know everyone's so excited about these changing, and these changes that we've done are, like you say, the first and second phase. Right. So phase 3 will be a short time away. So I think that's really exciting for people to know that that's coming. How do you plan on keeping people in the community in the loop about the expansion?
We're very public about it. Things like this podcast will, put people, make them aware rather that we're going ahead and do this. We've talked about this in many different ways, phases, the 5 phases. So I think we will keep people informed as we move along.
Yeah, we have so many ways that we communicate with the community. Through our e-newsletter every month, they can sign up on our website. We are on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram. We always have brochures and things available for people to find out what's going on. But we will be putting out announcements as we go, like we've done for this part of the project, as we move forward as well. So we'll keep everyone in the loop. Yeah. And our closing question. Okay, if you could say one thing to a hesitant taxpayer about the value of the library and their investment in it, what would that be? You can both answer that.
The library is an important part of any community. I think it's a valuable part of this community. It's a center of, I think, cultural activity. There's all sorts of things that we offer. If you're not a user, I think you're missing out on it. But it is part of the tax base. As many people don't have children in school, but they continue to pay the school taxes. So we're here. We want people to come in and utilize it. And I think if you haven't come to the library and you're a resident, you're missing out, and you should come in and pay us a visit and see all the things that we can do for you and what we've accomplished over the years. So I would encourage people to utilize this library. We have a magnificent staff, a great director, and a beautiful facility. So come on in and check us out.
Yes, and we, as Don said, welcome everyone to come in. There really is something for everyone. And it's the one place where I feel like you can come in and, ask a question, and, staff will try to answer it for you. And if they can't get an answer for you right away, they will work until they can, get you the resource you need or the answer that you're looking for. You've heard me say this before to staff. I don't like the answer no. You can say no, but, right? Yes. Like, maybe we can't do exactly what you need, but there's an alternative. We'll figure it out. We'll find that answer for you. We'll figure out a way to get something done. It's rarely a case where we can't, get someone what they need, whether, it's a program or a service or a material. We work really hard to do that. And, even if you, taxpayer, maybe you feel like the library's not for you, which I think it is, but maybe you don't. But it probably is for your neighbor. It has something for your community members. So it's valuable to them, and I think it makes a better community as a whole. It makes a stronger community. And we just welcome you to come in and say hi, and just see the space. And I think once you're here, you'll realize the value.
Yeah, and to your point, there's something for everybody. And if you don't take out books, if you don't come to programs, maybe you go to a museum in the city. You can borrow museum pass, the Intrepid or the Guggenheim. We just had somebody today tell me they went to the Frick Museum and they loved it. We really do offer things besides book copies. We have a copier, a fax, a scanner. I know people come in for tax papers and documents they need. We have a notary. There really is a lot more that we offer than just books, and I hope people do come in. I know we are inviting the public to come in on December 13th. We are going to have an open house. It will be part of the Patterson Holiday Festival that will be happening on the property adjacent to us, the Peterson's property. There will be a tree lighting and parade, and we are going to be participating by having an open house so everybody can come in and see what's happening here. We are going to be dedicating the Nooks that day, and come in, check it out, and be part of the community. I think you'll love what you see. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having
us. Thanks for having us.
Clarifying a lot of things and letting the public know what's going on here and what's to come.
And people are always welcome. My door is always open. If people have questions, they can come talk with me. I like talking with patrons. So.
Yeah.
And for those who are curious about the board, we invite you to come to a board meeting or download an application and join the board. Become
Yeah.
part of a hardworking group of people.
Yeah, we are looking for trustees. So if you are a Patterson resident and you would like to join our board, you can get an application on our website or just give us a call. All right, thank you guys. And we will chat again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Patterson Library Connection. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. You can like us and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. This episode was filmed at the Patterson Library, and I'm so glad you got a chance to tune in for this one because you got a chance to see our newly renovated space. I'm sitting in the reading nooks, and they are really comfy and cozy. I hope you stop in and take a look at all the exciting changes that we've done. I'm your host, Lillie Musenti. Special thanks to our library director, Stephanie Harrison, our sound engineer, Adam Bernier, our board of trustees, and to you, our listeners. I'll see you next time on the Patterson Library Connection.